All right, statement on X from Turki Alalshikh. He said, I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me, but he doesn't like the way we do business. As for him respecting me, it doesn't matter if he does or not. As for the way I do business, I know why he doesn't like it, because I only target big fights at fair prices. So of course, anyone who likes easy fights won't like that. And I know how he feels after losing to Bivol, so he's been looking for easy fights ever since. Also, I'm not the one who's afraid of fighting Benavidez or Crawford. Therefore, I knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with big amounts of money that can't be paid. So I'm continuing my way to make big fights that serve the boxing world, and he's on his way to making easy, show-only fights. All right, those are the words of Turki Alalshikh. Now, most of us would agree with his assessment of Canelo Alvarez there, that Canelo is only interested in taking easy fights at this point of his career ever since that loss to Dimitri Bivol. And the way I would describe Canelo's mentality at the moment is that he thinks he's on a victory lap. He thinks the race is over and he's just circling the track, taking applause from the crowd, catching bouquets of flowers and what have you, waving to everybody. He's not actually in the race anymore. And that's absolutely fine if he wants to milk his past achievements for financial gain, as long as he doesn't have any belts. You see, when you have belts, that becomes a problem, because belts come with mandatory obligations, which Canelo has been shirking. Only the IBF have seen fit to strip him of a belt. And ironically, in that case, nobody really cared, because his IBF mandatory was William Skull, who not many people think particularly highly of. What we wanted to see is the WBC strip Canelo Alvarez for failing to fight David Benavidez. Now, don't get me wrong, what the IBF did was perfectly fine. I applaud it. It's just that the Canelo Benavidez fight is the one we all wanted to see. I'm sure Canelo did price himself out with the Saudis regarding fights with Crawford and Benavidez. However, Turki Alalshikh was supposed to be, and has been for the most part, a force for reconciliation in boxing. A guy who mends bridges and builds bridges for the good of the sport. But by putting this tweet out and basically shaming Canelo publicly, he's burning a bridge. Just because Canelo don't want to play ball right now, it doesn't mean he won't be willing to play ball sometime in the not too distant future if circumstances change. Circumstances regarding his broadcast situation, his promotional situation, and so on. If they can't continue to pay him the money that he's used to, for example, maybe then he would return to the negotiating table with Turki Alalshikh and say, okay, I'm willing to fight for the money you've been offering me. But with Turki Alalshikh putting his tweet out, burning that bridge, I'm not so sure that will happen. Canelo doesn't need the money, and he's a very stubborn guy. He comes across that way anyway. He's got an ego, and he certainly won't like being spoken to like this. In fact, it seems to be a bit of a battle of the egos in this particular instance, because then you see posts like this from Turki Alalshikh bigging himself up. I was going to say shades of Dana White, but I'm not sure Dana White would even go this far. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this online beef between Canelo Alvarez and Turki Alalshikh. I know nobody's going to be feeling sympathy for Canelo. I don't feel any sympathy for him. I'm just concerned about what's best for boxing. And burning bridges doesn't help. Again, Turki Alalshikh was supposed to be repairing them and building them. And speaking of burnt bridges, he made some cryptic remarks about Tim Tszyu in a recent tweet. He said there's some type of misunderstanding between his team and Tszyu's team. Not exactly sure what he means by that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comment section below. And before I go, make sure you check out this film study I've done for AJ Dubois on my Patreon page. It's about an hour long, and I go through footage of several of their previous fights and highlight their strengths and weaknesses and the mistakes which either guy may be able to capitalize on. If you want to access this video along with hundreds of hours worth of other exclusive boxing content, as well as our members chat, just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called the Boxing Brotherhood. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store. All the links are in the description box below.